I am super excited to share wonderful tips on Excel. We are going to take the template directly from the Excel and we are going to learn all the formulas. Please stay tuned. You can pick any Excel, open the Excel, and then you can go to File. In the file, you can find New. In the New, you can find, since I have already opened and this you can see that it has been pinned up. And you can also, if you want, you can just search by formula, and you'll find formula tutorials, right? And that you can, so there are many things are coming. So we are going to start today with this one, the formula tutorial. This is for the beginner. It has almost more than 30 plus formulas we're going to do. And then we're also going to do the next video is on dynamic arrays, formulas, and things like this. So first we'll start with the basic one. Something called the file name is called formula tutorial. All you need to do is you need to click and create. When you create it, so you will find this page will open up, right? And this has various index, as you can see. So it has basic and everything like introduction to function, and then you also have average, how to find out average, how to min max, date and time. This is also interesting, we're going to learn. And then you have furthermore like joining text and number, how to do it, and if statement, VLOOKUP, condition formatting, and function wizard. And then there is also something called formula error, like whenever you're getting the formula, how we can, for example, not applicable, and how we can adjust that and rewrite in the formula. So there is more also there, and that also we're going to do it as a part by part. Okay, let's go back to the first page. And first page is just a cover page where you get started with the formulas, and in a few steps you will be up and running with the building formulas and functions in Excel, the world's most powerful spreadsheet app. Let's start. So the first thing is that very basic of max, right, with Excel, right? For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, and power, right? And this is the answer. We are going to do it very simple, and we can go further. And also, for example, let's say you wanted to have more range and all that, how we can do, and some shortcuts and all that we are going to learn. Okay, let's start with this one. So addition, so this is a number we are going to use it. So addition is simple. So you can just plus, you can select the cell and then two cells, so three. And of course, so this one minus this one is subtract. And you can also write the formula like subtract sum, for example, equal to sum. You can do that, right? And this is both ways we can do. Okay, multiply, and again like this times this, right? And division, this by this. They have given the instructions here, you can see here, right? So, and then power. So power is caret, right? So 1, the power, raise the power 2. The answer should be 1, right? And you can see that everything is matching. Everything is true, right? And this is a very basic which we have done, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, divisions, and power. Okay, let's go furthermore. And in it also, it has given like good to know. And whenever you have, for example, let's say you have a data range like this. I'm just creating some random data. I'm just creating random data between 1 to 100. Okay. Copy and paste this one, right? Every time it will keep changing it. So let's say I am happy with this data set. Maybe I will convert into values. Okay. Okay. So the other one way is that this is a very traditional way, sum, and then you can just click this data range, right? This is one way to do it. Like the answer is 347. Another way to do it is that, so you can just select alt equal to, you will get it. So alt equal to is also shortcut. And so this will allow to do that sum. It will automatically, it will show. For example, if you say alt, wherever the values are there, it will properly select that alt equal to C. And let's assume that you have some data set here. You can also drag and adjust the cell also as well, right? So this is very basic. Let's go to the next one. So now we are talking about alt equal to is also here, right? So this is also one shortcut for, that's what we have learned, alt equal to in the previous one, like how we can do the sum value. Okay, sum value we have already seen it, so we are not going to do it again. And then this is also sum value, the same sum value. Whenever you have the same data range, so you can create the formula, or you can just simply copy and paste it. So it will work. Why it should work is that it will understand that the data is coming from the column G, or even if it is 140 you're getting it, so you supposed to get the same value as this, right? 140. And similarly, like if you have that sum value here, again you can just copy and paste it here and adjust the row, right? For example, let's simply, this has not picked that first value, you can adjust. So the value is from D10 all the way to D15. So D15 is there, and you can easily select it. Let me check whether it's D15 is there. Okay, D14, let me check. Yeah, D14, this is correct. So this is correct. So you can say D10 to this, that way also you can do, or simply you can write the formula, right? Count, it will just select the number of count actually. Like for example, let's say can give count, and this is the value. Sorry, so we are going to do it here. So count. Yeah, so that means it has 5 number of line items, right? So that's the reason it's saying count is 5. So this is how we can easily do it. And this we have done that value 170 we got, and then the other values we got, the new values, everything we can easily we can get to know. For example, this one, or simply you can copy and drag it. So it is coming like 80, right? So total, maybe you can just divide, like, so for example, let's say you have two data set. One is this data set, the other one is that you wanted to add plus 100. For example, whatever the value is there, let me do it here, sum, and then you wanted to, let's say you wanted to add 50 plus 50, right? You can do that, or 100 or whatever maybe, right? So you can easily do it. So additional value and new total, everything we can easily get it. So this is the value, additional value. Let's say I'm just keeping it, I have just given manually, but you can also give by reference also. For example, sum, this value, I have to add addition value 180. So this is matching, right? So this is also one way we can do, or we can insert the, always taking from the reference is always better, right? This is what we have learned in this one. Okay, so we will see more data. Like let's try, like for example, let's go a little bit detail actually how to find out the today's date and so on. And let's go to next section. I'm just clicking here. Next step. Next step is very simple. The average. Average actually, like it is super easy. Like auto sum cell D7, and then use auto sum to add an average function, right? So auto so if you want to do auto sum, then alt equal to, this is auto sum, and but we need only an average, right? So there are two ways we can do it. Either we can just go by this, sorry, go by directly an average like 42.5, right? And then you can paste it. This is one way. Or you, if you want, you can do it through that auto sum also as well. For example, alt equal to auto sum, and then you know that the count, we have learned already the count formula in the previous section. Let's say I'm just inserting one more row here. Okay, so count, yeah, count, and we are going to count this. right? We know that the average formula is sum divided by total instances, right? For total value is 4, the count is 4, right? So like this also you can do it. Okay. And I mean, I think I've done wrong. 1 second. So I think the best way to do it is that you can definitely take the sum value is 170, 170 plus 4, 170 by 4. Technically, well, let me do it one manual time and then I can do it here. Yes. Yeah, it is matching. Yeah, it is matching. So for example, you can do it like sum formula, right? And then you can put like count formula. Let's say count equal to this, and this is 4. That means what is average? Average, maybe I'll create one more one. So average, so this is, I'm just dividing it this value. So this by this. So 42. Or directly I can also do it. Directly I can apply the average formula. So how to do? Just put like average and we're gonna select this one. That's all. So both are matching. So either you can do auto sum and average or you can directly do it. Either way, it should work, right? So whenever we have the same value, what you can do, you can just copy paste this another column and automatically will get adjusted. So all you need to do is one time you have to do a sanity check. For example, it has taken the data set, great, and this is great. This is perfect. And then this is okay. 35 is an average. So here we are talking about sum, right? So this is not a sum. Okay, so sum you can give like alt equal to, and then you are matching. The both ways are matching. So this similarly you can do it the other one also as well. We can also find something called median and mode also we can find. How to do it? So let me change this to median. When the data is not normal, we use median, right? So median is this though. So median is 50, right? So you see that what is the mode here? Any values is getting repeated? No. So you can just see mode, right? 50, right? 50 is repeating. So it's a mode is 50. Like this, we can also create this also as well, right? Median and mode we can create. So this is something to do with we learn some formula, count again, average. Average is mean and median mode. All 3M basic statistic we have learned. Let's go to the next one. And this is min and max. Min and max is very important to find out the range. Range formula is, when you say range, range equal to maximum minus minimum. It is also called dispersion. We can know how the values are being dispersed. So what is the min value? So min formula is super easy. Min, 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 and then you can select this value. This is done. And I'm dragging this value here, just copying this value and pasting it here, and then I'm double clicking it. So the value is great. And now this is, so this has to be maximum, right? So I will change the formula equal to max. Okay, so min and max. So what we can do is that we can just select this. We know that manually, if you wanted to do, we can do this way: maximum minus minimum. We can do right. So this is also one of the ways. So again, you can see that min or max you can find out. So we can do the similar step what we have done before also as well. Okay, for example, min and max, the same data set is there, so obviously the value will be same. So So here the values are 100, right? So maximum 100. So 100 minus 8, that what we call it as range. Range will be, so 100, whatever 100 value we got it, maximum value minus minimum value. We can also apply it that way also as well, like 80. So dispersion, another word called range, another word called precision is 80. Similarly, I will keep the same thing here. So max and maybe I'll find out here. I found the value of minimum value. I will find the maximum value here. I'll just copy this one, and that since it is we are talking about only minimum, so I will keep the subject as minimum, and maximum formula is equal to max, right? So and then you can do it. And again, similarly, the same formula I'm going to apply. So, of course, the same data set is there. Even you can see that 100 minus 20 is 80, right? So, it's matching. So, this is how the minimum and maximum, very simple. We have. Let's move to date and time. Date and time is very interesting because there are it also have to do with something called formatting also as well. We are going to learn that. For example, today's date, you can just invoke today, and today date you got it, and then what you also have to get it. For example, let's say if today is equal to, you got it, right? So it is condition is like that. For example, if I'm deleting it and it no values have been there, it's say empty, right? If I'm giving like today formula, so it says you got it, right? So d6, the cell reference is d6. If it equal to today, then what value we are going to return is that you got it, right? Something like that. Let's say if you want to change, you can also change this also as well. Okay. So now let's go to the next section. So let's say birthday. So I'm just what I'm doing it the same date. I am just uh, pasting as a value. Okay. And I'm just changing it to 2000. So that means days until your birthday is 8766. Let's say I'm just removing it. So that means it gives a different value, right? We'll not be able to understand that value. So if to make it better, to return that as a empty, how we need to do is that we need to invoke the formula. If formula d7 is this particular value. If the d7 is found to be empty, so double quote refer to empty, return as empty, no issues. And then otherwise you can just ask like uh, today's date minus birthday, we can do it. See, it is returning as a empty. This is better. So we can just invoke this formula. Let's say I'm applying it. Once again, I'm just changing it to value. And in the values, see, it is perfectly, it has calculated, right? Almost 24 years, right? In generally speaking, like 24 years and 365 days. But it will not be very accurate, but very close by, right? Like we are getting it almost perfectly, we're getting the answer. Okay, so let's say if you, this is the this is what it has given in the important details, right? So how we can do a minus and all that, right? This is the one. And good to know is that, as I said, that control one, for example, if you want to format that one, control one you can give. Let's say you want in this format, you can change it. Again, both of this value you want in this format. uh, for example, let's say I will just go to this particular cell and I will just say I need in this format. All right, you can perhaps do it. Okay, grace period. Let's say if you want to add some grace period is like, let's say you wanted to add maybe 33 days example, right? So that means it is until this one we have and for example in any situation, like let's say the 18 year, for voter and all that. We wanted to know, no, we wanted to calculate how many days are left. We can easily do that, right? So we can add it, or any function we can do that. We can have that grace period and all that, right? So this is one in which we can easily do it. Okay. So now this is all about date, right? Similarly, we can do it time. If you want to find the time, there are two, three ways we can do it, right? One, we can do it like this one. Now it will give the time. So it has given the time, 12 noon, 19 minutes, 35 seconds, right? It has stamped that value, right? And then let's say if you like this, if you wanted to have this, let's say you wanted to have like this, copy and paste it here somewhere. And let's say I'm just not giving that value. Let's say I'm just giving it like now. And I will come to this section. So instead of this, I will say the formula is changed, right? So you can put like D1 equal to now. That means you got it. Instead of you got it, I will say you got the time. Perfect. Something like that. All right. So this is how we can also ensure whether the formula has been applied or not. We can also check that. Okay. So this is all about, this is one way. Another way is that, another way is that you can give shortcut control, shift and comma. For example, let's say every time it will change because the time is running, right? So let's say this is the control, shift, comma. You get the time. Perfect, right? So let's say you want along with the seconds, right? You can give control one once again, right? All these, as I said, that formula, time, everything, sorry, time and date relating to directly, you might have to adjust the time. Let's say you want along with the seconds, you can do that, right? So you see here, so almost you can easily get it. Again, you want PM, everything, you can still do it. So AM, PM, so you can still do AM and PM, right? So you can do it. All right. So this is how we can easily calculate. Okay. So let's say you wanted to have time in is 8 o'clock, lunch out is 12 o'clock, lunch out has been happened, lunch in that 1 o'clock, and time out is 5 o'clock, right? You wanted to find out how much time, right? So what you can do, a very simple formula it is. So D35 minus D32. D35 is what? So D35 is timeout, right? 5 o'clock we time out. Okay. 32 is what? So 32 is, again, both out we are just minusing it, and then whole thing with the in value times 24. How we can do it? For example, I'm just invoking here same formula. So out, so 5 o'clock 5 p.m. minus lunchtime minus, again we can do that 1 p.m. lunch minus this value. What I will do, I will give double quote because two data set we're doing it times 24. So 32, 35, 32, 35. Oh, 32 we need to do. Sorry, 32 we need to do, and then 34 minus 33. Yeah, so it should be okay. All right, so this is how we can easily find it out, right? For example, statistic, the date, if you want to change, you can also have that. For example, let's say you wanted to put like today's date, right? You can also do this way also, right? You can also like 6 is the month and the date and followed by year. And time also you can put it like if you don't want dynamic. So again, date, the shortcut for date is like one way we learn that it is the equal to. Another way is that control comma. Only for time, what you will do, you will add shift to it, right? That's the only difference. So this is control plus comma. If you want time, we have already done it, right? So control shift, you will add shift so that it will add the time also as well. This is what we have learned here also as well. We have seen all this, right? We have also multiplied this one because 24 is a day, and we can also time out, lunch out, and time out. Basic formula it is. I did not pay attention to it. So the time out and time in, lunch out, lunch in, right? So that minus value times 24. So this is inner parenthesis we can give, and then this is how we can easily calculate. So this is shortcut also we have learned. For more detail, you can go to that. So let's go to the next one. So this is easy. I mean, this you can do it. Let's say last name, first name has been there, and like you can just add it like this. So D3, you can just see the formula D3, and then multiply with this one, and then this is the value, right? So you can also do this way also, or you can do concatenate also as well. Any one value you can do it, right? So what you can do, for example, this and okay, so this value and double quote. Let's say we wanted to separate out with the comma, right? Comma and this value. Okay, what we're missing? Oh, there is no again and is coming. Okay, comma. Yeah, so it should work now. So like this, you can drag that up. Like this, if you want reverse, let's say you want first name followed by last name. Last name, you can also do that. Okay, so how we can do to take this value, the first value times, you can do double quote. You wanted to add by comma, example. Again, once again, you add this value, Amazon, and then this value. That's all, right? So Nancy Smith, right? So you can drag that up. So it is, or if you want full, so all we do is that we just have to multiply, right? So comma, we're not going to have any value, right? But we would need a space. So for a space, we can give space like this. Yeah, this is done. This is also basic, like to create the full noun, what we have to do, and to create the only this does not look quite right because we need to have that extra space, right? So you can just add that comma or a space, whatever we need, we can add it. For example, I don't want this one. You can also add the comma also as well, right? So this is also fine. So anything as per your requirement, you can very well do it. Okay, so let's go to if statement. If statement allows you to make a logical comparison between conditions. If statement generally says that if one condition is true, do something, otherwise return that something else, right? The formula can return text values or even more calculations. So this is the one. So let's say orange 50. So you can give that value also as well, right? So let's say if a statement 50 let's say orange is 100, you can give this value. Okay, if C2, whatever the values are there, let's find out what this value is coming. So maybe I will just maybe I'll input that as 100 example. So we can put like if C2 less than 100, less than 100, greater than 100, we can give that, right? So we can easily understand that. Instead of that, I can change that value also as well, right? So for example, apple, let's say 100, and orange maybe 50. And let's say I need to know which is these two, right? What I can perhaps do, instead of this, I can add it equal to, I can bring this value here, apple value. So I can say apple, right? So here I can add the, let's assume that this is apple and this is, okay, this is orange. Okay. All right. So now the next value I'm just invoking like this. Okay. So here we can put it like maybe comparison we can do. So less than, if the C2 is less than 100 and greater than or equal to, okay. So maybe you can put some other conditions. Maybe I can say price is low or price is high, something like that. I can, price is high. So we can see that if this is price is high, it shows. So similarly, I can do this also as well, right? Automatically. Let's say both have become 100, right? It shows. Or Apple have become 200 rupees, example, right? Let's say an orange has come down to 40 rupees, right? So you can easily do that. So true or false, and something like that, you can add it. So you can not only that, this is one way. Another way to do is that true or false are unlike other two words in Excel and formulas. In if they don't need to be in, the codes, Excel will return automatically, capitalize them. So number don't need to be in quotes either, right? And like text yes or no need to be in the quotes like this. So for example, let's say if C3 equal to Apple, say yes. Otherwise, say no. Right? That's why also you can put it. And you can also do play around with this also as well. You can also have that data range also, formula name managers you can also do. Okay, let's go one by one. So you can also do that subtitle. Let's say this is the subtotal you can add like if statement, some if you stay if you can add that condition. So we are going to add only this one, right? Subtotal. So the cost of this one subtotal, and let's say I'm changing it to let's say $4, like automatically is getting changed. So so the cost and what is the total one and how much quantity it is multiplied, actually this two are multiplied. And so 2 nines are 18, almost like this is the one, this has been multiplied, 3 fours are 12, this has been multiplied, and then you get the sum value also as well. This also you get the sum value, you can do that. Sale tax, let's say if you want to add yes or no, you can do that. If the sale tax is there, it is returning a 0. If it is 1, you can say that if the values are there, multiply that with the tax value, right? And this you can do. And if let's say no shipping is there, let's say 0. If the shipping is there, it is 1. You can also add this. This is very interesting one, right? So you can add that subtotal, and then you can give like total value, grand total. You can add it. Let's say both involving tax, the tax value is written. So you can see here the formula. If this value equal to yes, if it found yes, this value like F31, F31 is this one, has to be multiplied with sales tax, right? Sales tax and then comma 0. Right, so you can see here. So for this value, this is a sale tax value are there. Let's say if you wanted to edit the formula, you can give F2. You can edit the formula also as well. Let's say you don't want to read sales tax, you wanted to add any more values also, you can add it. So that means $2 is the tax, and shipping, let's say we have only sales, we don't have a shipping, you can just select this. So automatically this is calculating this and this, so it gives this, right? So yeah, this is the one. And range, name range also one interesting one. So we can also have that name range also as well. You can go to the formula, formulas, name manager, the formula, and you will find name manager. And here you can add any of this one, Apple, right? And what values you're referring to, and all that you can easily find it out, right? For example, shipping, and that is there in the workbook, and this is can be calculate shipping costs anywhere in the workbook. Wherever you have that shipping costs refer to 1.25, you can give the reference, so that automatically get multiplied with that. So similarly, let's say the cost, right? So you can see that here they have given only for shipping. So the shipping applies 1.25, right? If they say yes, so 1 point, whatever the values are there, this is your value times 1.25. Okay, 1.25 percentage or what it is. So this value could be percentage, or we can just go here and maybe I can put it like 10. So 1.25. Now this is very small. So I don't know what it referred to, but you can easily check that also as well. If you wanted to refer to, you can also refer to 1.2 and all that. You can easily do it. So this is if conditions. Let's go to further one. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is very interesting, and we have done in the past videos also many VLOOKUP we have done, right? So VLOOKUP is very easy formula. Let's say if we wanted to change, let's say fish, right? Apple and fish, I'm just doing it. So VLOOKUP, we can give, and then what value we are looking up, this value, comma, and this is there in this array, right? And we are going to return, there are two columns. So two columns is there. So if you look at apples, it is 50 rupees, right? Or $50, or orange 20, right? Bananas and all that, right? Similarly, the same way I can copy this value formula and go here. I can drop it. I can drop this one. So drop down what chicken. So it gives the chicken value. And if you need like beef, so it gives like that. So that way also we can do. If you want, like say something like you do, if you have a return as a empty value, let's say pastry is not there here, dummy value is not there, it will return as this false, right? So you can also return that as a this if the C value not found anything. The same thing what we have learned in the past videos. So what we can do, if you can just add first if formula, because we don't want that return value as dummy. So if this value equal to contain no value, double quote, return as empty, okay, and then that means is it will not return any value, right? This basically, if no values are there, it will return as no value. But what we are going to do, we are also going to build the VLOOKUP formula. So VLOOKUP, and this is the VLOOKUP value, comma, this is the data range. So of course there are two columns there and exactly match. Okay. So I have not selected anything. That's the reason it is giving this as a value. Let's say if I have selected, let's say bread. See, bread has given the value. Donuts has given the value, and things like this. So, okay. Similarly, the same thing. Let's say pastry is not there in this one, right? and it obviously it will return this one. So if error, or you can do if condition like this, or you can add that if error also as well, right? If you're not sure you lookup value exists or not, so then what you can do, you can also do if error also as well. If error, what it will do, if simple formula, if error, and VLOOKUP, we're going to apply that formula called VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, we are going to look up this value, the containing in this particular cell is F43, comma, this is the two column is there, and then let's say true or false, exact, let's say we need an exact match. Okay, so let me do it again. If error, and in the if error you have the cell reference is F43, comma, we are going to find in this particular table return as 2 and 0. It should work. Why it's not working? So maybe I can return that as a false, right? So yeah. Okay. Why it doesn't work? If error, VLOOKUP F43 reference, we will take it. I will do directly. Then we are going to take it from this particular cell, that is F37 all the way to G41, comma 2, comma. So we are gonna say false, right? Okay. Yeah. So we have not closed that one. So comma. If that value is no value is being found, we are gonna say return as empty. Yeah. No, it is okay. So let's say if you have anything like uh, let's say cakes, right? Cakes has got a value, so it is returning that value. Donuts has a value. So now you see the difference between f, because you're very sure that the value should contain everything and it is returning, or you can also use this formula also as well, right? So any one of the formula you can very well use it, right? So for example, let's say in this case pastry is not there, right? Any of the value, if it's not there, it will return that value. So like this, if error is what is known as a blanket, so blanket error handler, that means meaning it will suppress any error your formula might throw. This can cause problem if Excel is giving a notification that your formula has a legitimate error that need to be fixed. So rule of thumb is to not to add error handler to your formula until you're absolutely certain that your properly works, right? So both in depend upon the situation, you can handle it. So we have learned two things actually. Like we have learned one thing, what we have learned, we have learned that the VLOOKUP formula, we have also learned how to return that as value. Let's say if you want to return that formula is not correct, something like that, if you wanted to return that also, you can do it. So for example, let's say some other values I'm giving it, because ABC is not there in this one. So it says the formula is incorrect. So like this, you can also have that. So now let's say I'm this control. So here I'm just adding like this value is not there, right? So if I add any other value, bread is already there, and all other values are there, right? So you can easily do that. Okay. So this is also one way. And there is also VLOOKUP, index formula, all that you can very well use it. Let's go to the next section now. Now let's learn conditional functions, like Sumif formula we can learn, and then countif formula we can learn, and so on and so forth, right? And more conditional formatting is there, like some if, average if, average ifs are there. count if, maximum if, minimum if. So you have a more and more things to try also as well. This is going to be very, very interesting. Along with that, sum is with the value argument, right? So if you have, you can, let's say you wanted to return, whether you wanted to have some conditional you wanted to build, you can also do that, right? So let's learn both all the formulas now. First, let's say this is a sum if formula. Basic idea about this is that, for example, if you just click here, autofill, so it should return this 150 value. The idea is that wherever apple are there, so it has to sum this up and it has to return that as a 150. Okay. Same, let's say we have another criteria. Let's say apple. In the apple, we have a variety. We have a different type. Fuji, Honeycrisp, we have a different type, right? And depending upon the type, we can also do that, right? How to do? For example, if I select, I have added one more discrete situation, one more type, we can add that value. How to do that? So I'm just unfiltering it. So sum if formula is only for single condition and sum if formula is for multiple conditions. So let's learn sum if formula. Sum if is very easy. You have to select the sum if formula. You have to select the entire one, C3 all the way to this one, C14, right? And then what value you are gonna look up. So we are gonna look up this particular value, right? And then that value we are going to find it in the value here. That's it. So that means if you look at here, one more time I will do quickly the formula. Sum if range. When you say range, some range is different, range is different. Some range is only this one, comma. The criteria is there in C17, right? This is the criteria, comma, amount. This is the sum range. We are going to do a sum functions. So let's say oranges 60, bananas 180. You can also check here. Let's say click on bananas, go to auto filter. You can find it 180. Perfect. And then you can select some other values. Lemons 120. I'm just clicking on lemons 120. Maybe I will just increase, decrease 30. 30. Automatic is working. Of course, it has to work because we have given the data range, right? So this is one. Let's say now this is the conditions. What the condition is that what many people do a mistake. This is to avoid, which this will not work in, the formula will not work. If we say sum if directly instead of range, I'm adding that sum range, comma, this is the value. Let's say this is the value I'm adding it, comma, then I'm adding this value. It will not return that. Why it will not return? Because the sum has to be last actually. This is the right formula. Sum if range is this one. No harm, you can even select the whole table also, no problem. Even if you select the whole table, formula will work, no problem. So you can just select the type and then sum ranges is only this one. That's all, right? So it works. So please add range followed by sum range. For range, you can add either just that particular type like fruit along with the amount you can add it, right? Okay, this is interesting. So this formula is sum if action. Sum if is actually multiple criteria. If you have, you can add it. So how we can do it? So let's learn. So now sum if multiple one. Even if you have single also, you can continue to use sum if. That's a beauty, right? For singular or multiple, you can use it. So, okay, sum range. Again, this is sum range. Sum range is this H, right? This is sum range, comma, criteria range. So criteria range 1. Which is the criteria range 1 for you? So one of the criteria range 1 is fruit. Excellent. Comma. Criteria range 2 is what? Type. Fantastic. And then we can add up to multiple criteria, right? And then what value you are going to look up. So we have added the data, what value you are going to sum, and we have added that first criteria that is there in F. We have also added. Okay, we need to add the second criteria. Okay, sorry. Yeah, sum if we need to add the sum range. Sum range is sum range. This is some value. This is clear. Fantastic. So we have done that. And then we are going to add, this is the first, what range we are going to have. This is the first range. Like first range is there. So which is there in this particular one. Like first, this one. This is also done. Okay. So until here, we are very clear. So now what is the criteria for that first range? Is that this is a first range criteria? Fantastic. Okay. Now, second criteria. Second criteria is what? This is the criteria. And what value we have for the second criteria is type. Right? So now you see that how it works. So Apple, just go for Apple now. Okay, so go for Apple now. Apple 50 and Honeycrisp is 120. If I go for Honeycrisp, 120. Similarly, let's say oranges. Florida oranges, I will keep here. Florida 20. Let's say I'm just adding 30. Navel 60. Fantastic. So the formula is super easy. And the formula is that first we are going to add, let me do it one more time. Sum if sum range. This is a sum range. Fantastic. We have done it. Criteria range. Criteria range. This is the first criteria range. The criteria range, we need to have a criteria first. So the criteria is coming from here. This particular cell, comma. Criteria range. Range is this data, right? And then that we need to have a lookup. Lookup is nothing but type. What is criteria? That's it. Right? We can easily switch around. Let's say you wanted to add a little bit more. For example, some type is not there. In the drop down, it is not there. If you wanted to have that some other type, you can also, let's say you can wanted to return that as actually not found. You can also do. How we can do? If error, and you wanted to, I mean, fruit and type not found. Example, right? Let's say I'm just giving here ABC. See, so this value will not match here, right? Or if I gave here ABC some values, so this I have done for oranges. So we have seen that what the formula, right? In the previous one also we have seen it. So this is one. Similarly, countif also same. Countif. So we are going to count how many apples are there. Like count if this is for single condition. Range. So range, either you can go like this, or you can select the whole thing. So anything is workable, right? Criteria, the criteria I have placed here. This is my criteria. So 3. For example, if you look at apples, you have 3. And let's say bananas, you have 3, right? And let's say what I'm doing it, I'm just replacing apple with it, I'm making 4. Let's see. Ban bananas, if you go here, 4. Why 4? Because if you see here, I have changed that. Fantastic. So along with that, you have a type to count. So how we can do same formula, like what we did it in the Excel. I mean, sum if equal to count if range. So we are going to apply the conditions, criteria. Criteria, let's say straight away criteria it is asking it. So this is the formula we can use it. So criteria number one, count if if criteria criteria range one. Okay, that range criteria is there here. You can see that formula. Let's understand the formula. So f is what? Maybe I'll keep the cursor here. Okay, I just a minute. I will keep the cursor over here. Yeah, this it should be workable. Yeah. So if you look at here, f is what? The first we are going to select the range. I mean the type, the criteria range, and then we are going to select F64. The range is here, and then you're going to do it like again the RN same like what we have done it here. So what we can do, count, or you can just copy paste from the Sumifs formula, no problem. Count if so this is the range, comma, this is the criteria. Fantastic. Let me just keep it here. Oh, what happened? Oh, yes. The criteria is here. Criteria is F64. This is great. And then I'm going to add another one. I'll say the criteria is here. Let's see how it works. For example, oranges Novel has got 2. So oranges, I'm just selecting it. So Novel has got 2. Let's say I'm just returning this also 3. So it automatically is 3, right? I'm doing undo, it is 2. So like this, you can select other values. Bananas has got ladyfinger is 1 banana. So 1. So let's see this also. Banana, just selecting it. Ladyfinger only 1 is there. Let's say I'm making it this automatically is changing, right? So you can also do that out way also as well. This is all countif. So we have done. Maybe I will just remove that freeze now. So we have learned something called sum if we have learned, count if we have learned, and then more we can try, right? So you can also try, this is different conditions you can try, right? So this is if condition has been given, so you can also try this also as well. So here sum if condition is given, another data set, so you can also, of course, you can try that also as well. So why orange is showing 0? Let's find it out. So orange does not have that rough type. It has, okay, it has orange. Sorry, so this is banana, right? Sorry, I'm sorry. Banana has got ladyfinger type. So 60, fantastic. And the other type is this one, 120. Yeah, fantastic. So you can also do that also. Okay, let's say I need like, the can average if, right? So that average if formula we can add it. Same average if. So what is average? Data range. Very simple. So this is the data range, comma, this is the value, fruit is the type, right? So this is the criteria. And then the second criteria, and you have here, that's all. And I have not given the value, I guess. So average. So why is not taking it? Let's do it one more time. Average if, because it's a plural, average if formula we have given, and then we have to have that e first. Okay, average range we have to find out. Okay, E, okay. This is what value we'll be doing it. And then, so what is the type? So this is the type, and this reference is here. Great. And type references in the type. Okay. And D16. So it should work. See? So you can see that average value for banana, let's say banana, we are taking it. So banana, so this has 60 and 60. Let's say one time the rate was 100, another time 60, it became 80, right? It is automatically working. So let's take another type. Let's say apples. So Fuji, like Fuji, so apple, I'm just taking it here. Apples, Fuji is 50. And then of course the only one value 50, right? Let's say the one time it was 100, another time was 80. You can see the 180. You can see 180 divided by 2 is 90. So you can easily do that. So we can, like this we can, and I'll do that. So we have learned some if average also we can do. Let's say average of apples rate we can do. Same thing if you want only one we can do, and count if, and maximum if also we can do. Maximum if also the same way, right? So this is average. Similarly, if you want like the uh, maximum if we can do. So what I'm doing it, I'm just copying this value. Okay, I think the range is getting changed. So maximum if equal to maximum if, okay, and then still we can do it, right? So maximum, so we are gonna select the values first, and then what we can do is that we can just select the range, that the type, I mean the fruit type is the one, and we have given the reference here, for example apple. Again we will do this similar, the type, sorry, type, the type criteria is here, right? And then this is it. So we have just added some if, maximum if E19 to E03, that again we have done this one, and then D92 to 103, this is correct. So formula is not working. So we have, and now let me explain in the next one. So a formula error, when you're getting like this, what we can do, that we are going to learn that. Okay, let me park here, I'll come back. Okay, let's go to the next section. So next section is that, let's say you wanted to know how the formula helps everything. What you can do is that select these D10. For example, D10 is this one, and you wanted to know that, right? Go to the formula. Go to the formula, and once you go insert function, right? Insert function, and now this is the value is there, right? So what you can do, you can also find out this way also as well. Let's say I will delete everything. Let's say I will delete everything, and I do not know that VLOOKUP formula. Let's say we can learn that VLOOKUP formula. So how we can do? You can just select that one, go to formula, and then we are gonna do it VLOOKUP formula, right? Okay, VLOOKUP formula, we can do that. VLOOKUP window comes up. Okay, now lookup value. Lookup value is here. Fantastic. Lookup array. Array is here. Fantastic. Oh, it has okay. Lookup value is this one. Good. And then you have lookup array, table array. Okay. Column, how many columns are it is there? 2 columns, we know that. And then lookup range, logical. We can put like what we wanted to return that as true or false. Right? So we can put like false or true, whatever the conditions we want, we can do it. Okay, so now you see that let's say I'm changing by orange formula. If you do not know that, you can also do this way also as well, right? So this is how we have done it. Good to know. As you enter the each argument section, description automatically will display. For example, lookup again. Once again, I'm just doing this is lookup, right? We lookup like this. If you want, you can also do other things also as well. Let's say I'm just creating it sum if example, because only one condition is there. Sum if. Let's say sum if, what we can do, we can go to insert function and all sum if sum sum if. Very good. So you take this sum if template. What is the range? Okay, range is, as I said, that it can be this whole thing or it can be this one, right? It can be only this one. Enter. Sorry, I've not given that one. So go to insert functions and then you can give sum if sum if. Okay, this is the template we need. And range. So range, I'm going to select only this. And criteria I have placed here. Some range is I'm going to do this sum. Fantastic. So now it is depend upon the value, it is automatically giving you. See, so orange, we know that we have selected orange. Orange is 20. If you are selecting something else, maybe I'll keep it here. So if you want like bananas value is coming like this. I can give the cell reference back, right? So the cell reference, I can keep it. I'll change the cell's reference to C10. Yeah. So I can change it here. So you can see here, bananas is 60, and like this you can go to know. Okay. So these are all the ways we can do it. Okay. Formula error is something like this. So let's learn that also as well. Let's say if you're getting error, how to check that formula error checking you can do. For example, I have done that VLOOKUP, but something it's showing like formula error, right? Maybe the spelling is incorrect here, like apples, right? Formula is incorrect. How to do? So what you can do, go to formula and then error checking. You can find there is something called error checking. So error checking can click. So in error checking, again, you can go to that one. So it gives a little bit tips, right? And help on error, right? Let me go. Help on this. So it also gives this one. And then if you show calculation, it says this one. Maybe here the word is evaluating it. And then you can also do that. Okay. And not only that, you can also correct that one. Now I have corrected that apples. Now it should come automatically. Like you can also evaluate and all that. Okay. How we can do? Simple. One more time we can do it. Let's say why VLOOKUP is not possible here. Sorry, VLOOKUP is not possible here. So we can just put like apple here. Apples are there. Here apple is there. So therefore VLOOKUP is wrong. What we can do? We can go to error checking. And in the error checking, you can put like either we can ignore or we can edit the formula in bar. let's say I'm just checking it here. So either I can go back and change here. For example, let's say this value, I'm just checking it as apples, right? Automatically it will come, right? We can resume and I can do that. This is one way. Or you can also check where the problem has step by step. You can also go. Similarly, if you or you can put like if error formula also you can introduce. So if error formula to ignore, if you don't want like NA, you can also do that. So some, let's say some, I'm just changing here. So you can also do what is wrong. We're trying to sum up all the item, right? So how to do that? So if you look at the one, let's say some E we have given. This is not the right formula, so it is given this one. You can go to error checking, and then you can just help on this error. It will give you some recommendation. Show calculation step. Okay. So maybe I'm just evaluating it. Why it is coming like this? So what you can do, you can go to edit. In the edit, you can just change it to some. You remove it. Automatically it has come, right? So this error will get disappear. Like this will come back to this, right? So what has happened? So in this particular case, you can go to error checking and edit formula. So this is clearly it is available. Resume. This is okay. Help on this error and count if. Maybe my Excel does not have that function, so it was not even showing it. Maybe that could be probable reason. So like this, we can easily learn. And furthermore, we can also learn a bit of LinkedIn learning also we can do. And if you have further questions, like tell me what you wanted to do. Like that is also very helpful. So in that window also we can get to know what we wanted to achieve, right? So for example, tell me in the tell me comments. One second. In the tell me comments also you can go back and tell me what you want me to do. Let's say if you want some, add a comment, insert a table, and what table you want, and let's say you want scenario manager, goal seeker, whatever, right? Format cell, all that is possible, right? So like this you can have that, right? This is also helpful. What else? And then we are going to have that LinkedIn. We're going to take the test also as well. So summary, we have learned all these things. First, we have went to basic Excel, and then from there we went to the functions like sum, count, and all that we have done. So various other formulas are there, and then we have learned. So sum, count, we have done directly, and also we have done this also as well. Minimum value, maximum value have done. We have also learned range formula. Date was very interesting. So we have learned control shift comma is for time, current time, and the control comma and is for date. And we have learned this also as well, right? So today formula also we have learned, and if you have this one, you got it and all that. We can, if you find this word, you can find this today. You got it. Something like that we can also add. We can also change. You can have that formatting everything. So joining date also we have learned, right? What is the joining date? What is the current date? All that, right? So joining date is this one. What is the current time? Right? So and then joining date, if you want, you can also multiply that also as well. Let's say okay. And then this formatting we have already learned that in the previous one how we can change it, and you can continue to have that control plus one. Countif we have learned. Countif we have learned very simple, and this also we have learned. All right, and then VLOOKUP we have done the VLOOKUP for this. For all of these things we have done the VLOOKUP. Conditional we have spent a lot of time here. Some if, count if, some if, some ifs, count if, and then we have also done for average also as well. So there are various functions how we can do. So I hope you find it very useful. And we will be up. The next video will be more on the detailed version For example, formula, you just select formula. We'll be talking more on dynamics array formulas. So the dynamics array formulas, this is, there you go. We'll be talking a little bit advanced one now, right? So what is the functions, how we can do, and how we can do dynamic array, all that horizontal, vertical, all that we are going to learn that also as well. Okay. So please stay tuned and take good care of yourself. Happy learning, and I hope you find this uh, video very, very useful. Please give a comment, and if you want me to cover any section, please let me know. Thank you so much.